Here's yet another story from Maharashtra, and sadly, it's another case of grand announcements with zero achievements. 2 years back, the state government proudly signed an MoU with Germany's Baden, Wurttemberg, promising overseas opportunities for 10,000 skilled workers. It was projected as a breakthrough, a big push for youth from rural districts who dreamt of better jobs abroad. But here's the reality. Nothing has moved. The scheme hasn't moved a single candidate despite 32,000 plus registration. Massive money went into publicity, but basic groundwork like language training, approvals, and even the pilot project remains unfinished. A classic case of big announcements, zero execution. And while the clock is ticking toward the 2026 deadline, departments are still stuck with verifications, conditional approvals, and incomplete pilots. Another scheme that looked promising on paper, but on delivery, the state has nothing to show. So the real question is this: if 2 full years weren't enough to send even one candidate, what exactly was the government doing after signing such a massive MoU? Hi, this is Khatija, and today we are looking at another Maharashtra story that exposes the gap between big promises and actual results. We are breaking down why the state's much hyped Germany MoU meant to send 10,000 skilled workers abroad has gone absolutely nowhere in 2 years. And before we dive deeper, do subscribe to Lokmat Times for more stories that matters. Now let's break down the entire picture. But firstly, what exactly is an MoU? Well, MoU means Memorandum of Understanding, which is basically a formal agreement between two governments or organizations to work together on a shared goal. So when the MoU was signed in early 2024, the state pitched it as a life-changing opportunity, especially for youth from districts like Sindhudurg, Kolhapur, Ratnagiri, and Satara. And in a way, people believed in it. Over 32,167 young aspirants registered on the portal, many of them from rural areas hoping for stable jobs in Germany's manufacturing, healthcare, and IT sectors. This wasn't a small response, it was a signal that people genuinely wanted this chance. But what did the government do with that response? This is where the scheme starts collapsing. The pilot project itself, which was supposed to be a small, focused test run in just 2 talukas, Sindhudurg and Kudal, is still incomplete. Forget sending workers to Germany, the state hasn't even finished verifying educational documents for the shortlisted candidates. Partnerships with German training institutes, still conditional. Final permissions, still pending. 2 years later, the basic structure of the scheme isn't even fully built. And then comes the biggest roadblock: German language proficiency. Most candidates managed to pass the state's internal A1 level test, but almost all of them failed the mandatory A2 exams required by German authorities. And this is not surprising, a large share of registrants are not graduates. So picking up a foreign language at the required speed is naturally difficult. But here's where the criticism becomes valid. If A2 level German was essential from day one, then why did the government invest properly in training from day one? Because instead of strengthening language teaching, a major chunk of the allocated rupees 5 crore went into advertisements. Publicity created registrations. Yes, but registrations alone don't send workers abroad. It's training, preparation, and support that matter. And that part stayed neglected. Only in the later phase, almost 2 years, the state opened 15 German language training centers in Mumbai, and now they are also training Jilla Parishad school teachers in German so they can teach future batches. Some teachers have even reached B1 level, which is great, but this feels like a late attempt to fix a problem that should have been anticipated much earlier. And while all this internal juggling continues, the deadline keeps getting closer. The 5-year window to send 10,000 workers ends in December 2026. We are already nearing the end of 2025. At the current pace, officials privately admit that meeting even a fraction of the original target seems unlikely. Meanwhile, Germany continues to face an acute shortage of skilled workers. More than 1 lakh Indians migrate there every year. But through private consultancies, private training centers, and individual applications, Maharashtra had the rare chance to build a clean government-to-government pathway. But instead of becoming a model for other states, it has become an example of how poor planning and slow execution can waste a genuinely good opportunity. So this story is not just about numbers. It's about the thousands of rural youth who believed the government when it promised a structured, safe and affordable route to employment abroad. For them, every delay isn't just paperwork. It's time lost, opportunities missed and dreams pushed further away. So as we watch the scheme struggle even to take off, one thing becomes clear. In Maharashtra, announcements are loud, launches are grand, but when it comes to delivery, the silence is louder. Now, what do you think about this stalled scheme? Share your views in the comments below.